beautiful soul, and welcome to Back to the Beginning Root Cause Conversations. I'm your host, Mona-Lize, a trauma-informed holistic therapist specializing in healing trauma at its root cause and how that transforms human connection. In this podcast, you can expect deep conversations about trauma healing, navigating your spirituality in this complex 3D world, and real transformation stories from people who've done the work. This is where spiritual depth meets practical reality. So without further ado, let's dive in. Well, hello, beautiful human, and welcome to episode 3 of Back to the Beginning, Root Cause Conversations. I am Mona-Lize, and today we're diving into something that's going to completely shift how you think about manifestation, spiritual work, and why that vision board might not be working the way you had hoped it would. We're talking about the healing hierarchy, why manifestation fails until your trauma is healed. And this is the conversation that nobody in the manifestation world wants to or likes to have, but it's the one that changes everything. If you've been doing all the spiritual work, the journaling, the affirmations, the moon rituals, the vision boards, and you're still stuck in the same patterns, attracting the same chaos, or feeling like the universe just isn't listening to you, I want you to know that this isn't your fault. When you feel stuck, it's completely understandable to feel like you're failing at everything in general. But what I'm about to share with you might just be the missing piece that changes everything. Because here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of women. Your nervous system doesn't care about your vision board. When you're in survival mode, your brain literally cannot access the states of consciousness required for manifestation. This is something I've observed consistently in my work. And while there haven't been formal experiments on this specific connection, the pattern is incredibly strong and makes complete sense when you understand how trauma affects the brain. It's not that you're doing it wrong. It's that you're trying to build a penthouse while your foundation is still on fire. So let's get uncomfortably honest about why your manifestation work might be failing, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Let me tell you about Sarah, not her real name, and yes, she's okay with me sharing this anonymously, but her story will probably sound familiar or resonate in some way, shape, or form. Sarah came to me after spending 3 years and a ton of her savings on manifestation courses, coaches, and programs. She had vision boards covering her walls. She did her morning affirmations religiously. She journaled about her dream life every single day. And she was still broke, still single, still living in her childhood bedroom at 29, and absolutely convinced that she was somehow broken or not spiritual enough for the manifestation to work. Here's what Sarah didn't understand, and what most of us in the manifestation world don't want to acknowledge. Her nervous system was running a completely different program than her conscious mind. While Sarah was consciously trying to manifest abundance and love, her nervous system, shaped by childhood trauma, generational patterns, and years of survival mode, was scanning for danger 24/7. Her brain was using every ounce of processing power to keep her safe, which meant there was literally no capacity left for creation, expansion, or manifestation. Think about it like this. If your phone is running 47 apps in the background and you're trying to open one more app, it's going to crash the system. Sarah's nervous system was running the hypervigilance app, the people-pleasing for safety app, the anxiety about money app, the fear of abandonment app, and then she was trying to run the manifestation app on top of all of that. It's not that manifestation doesn't work. It's that manifestation requires a regulated nervous system to access the quantum field states where creation actually happens. And when you're in survival mode, you literally vibrate at frequencies that repel what you're trying to attract. The breakthrough came when Sarah stopped trying to manifest her way out of trauma and started healing her way into manifestation. We used EFT and a few other techniques that I've developed over the years, which I now call the Expurgo method, to fragment and heal her wounded parts, and astrology to understand her unique blueprint for abundance in all aspects of her life. Within 6 months, we saw massive shifts. She was on her way up, gunning for a promotion at work. But here's what's even more incredible. After 18 months, she'd started a side hustle, was in a stable relationship, and had moved into her own place. Oh, and she lost 20 kilograms, got that promotion, and got rid of her panic attacks and depression. Not because she got better at manifestation, but because she healed the trauma that was blocking her access to manifestation in the first place. This brings us to what I call the healing hierarchy, and it's going to revolutionize how you think about spiritual work and personal development. Just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs shows us that you can't focus on self-actualization when your basic survival needs aren't being met, there's a hierarchy in consciousness work too. You cannot access higher vibrational states for manifestation when your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. Let me break this down into what I call the 4 levels of the healing hierarchy. Level 1, survival mode override. When you have unhealed trauma, your nervous system is constantly scanning for threats. This isn't your fault. It's how trauma rewires the brain for survival. But here's what happens. Threat detection uses massive amounts of mental and emotional processing power. Your brain literally cannot distinguish between a saber-toothed tiger and your boss sending you a passive-aggressive email. Both trigger the same survival response, flooding your system with stress hormones and keeping you in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. When you're in survival mode, your brain's primary job is keeping you alive, not helping you manifest your dream life. It's like trying to plant a garden during a hurricane. The conditions for growth just aren't right. Level 2, the safety foundation. This is where nervous system regulation becomes crucial. Before you can access higher states of consciousness, you need to create safety in your body. This means healing the root wounds that keep triggering survival responses. When we use techniques like EFT to regulate the nervous system and the Expurgo method to heal fragmented parts, we're literally rewiring the brain for safety instead of survival. We're teaching your nervous system that it's safe to relax, safe to expand, safe to receive. Level 3, capacity liberation. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. When trauma is integrated and your nervous system feels safe, something magical happens. You suddenly have access to cognitive and emotional capacity that was previously locked up in survival mode. It's like upgrading from a computer with 4 gigs of RAM to one with 32 gigs. Suddenly, you can run multiple programs without crashing. You can hold space for abundance and safety. You can be open to love and maintain boundaries. You can dream big and stay grounded. This leaves level 4, quantum field access. This is where manifestation actually becomes possible. When your nervous system is regulated and your capacity is liberated, you can access what quantum physics calls coherent states, where your heart, mind, and energy field are aligned. Here's a practical example for clarity. If you've cut yourself and you're busy bleeding out, affirmations are not going to stop you from dying. If you're bleeding out, you've got to stop the bleeding, manage the wound, make sure it's clean, get stitches if necessary. And once you've done all of that, once you've handled the immediate crisis, that's when you can start using affirmations to say, I am healing or I am healed. The same is true with emotional and psychological wounds. You can't affirm your way past trauma. that's actively bleeding into your life, you have to tend to the wound first, start the healing process, and then the manifestation work becomes not just possible, but natural. In these coherent states, you're literally vibrating at frequencies that are magnetic to what you desire. But, and this is crucial, you cannot fake your way into coherence. You cannot affirmation your way past trauma. You have to heal your way into alignment. The spiritual community often talks about raising your vibration, but they rarely explain that trauma literally lowers your vibrational frequency. When you're in survival mode, you're vibrating at the frequency of fear and scarcity, amongst other things. When you're in coherence, you're vibrating at the frequency of love, abundance, and creation. This is why manifestation work fails for so many people. They're trying to change their external reality without healing their internal landscape. They're trying to attract love while their nervous system is wired for danger. They're trying to manifest abundance while their subconscious believes they don't deserve it. Context is everything here. Your individual healing journey, your astrological blueprint, your family patterns, the cycles you keep repeating, your attachment style, your nervous system responses, your personal triggers. All of this affects how trauma shows up and how healing happens. There's no cookie cutter approach to moving through the healing hierarchy because your story is uniquely yours. So, how do you know if your trauma is blocking your manifestation work? Here are the signs I see most often. First, you're doing all the right spiritual practices, but not seeing results. You're journaling, meditating, visualizing, but your life looks exactly the same. This usually means your conscious mind is on board, but your nervous system is running a different program. Second, you feel resistance or anxiety when you try to imagine your desires coming true. If visualizing your dream life makes you feel scared, overwhelmed, or like that could never happen to me, your nervous system is telling you it doesn't feel safe to receive what you want. Third, you keep attracting the same patterns despite your best efforts. You manifest jobs that drain you, relationships that trigger you, or financial situations that stress you. This is your unhealed parts choosing from wounds instead of wholeness. Fourth, you feel exhausted by your spiritual practice instead of energized. When manifestation work feels like pushing a boulder uphill, it's usually because you're fighting against your nervous system instead of working with it. So, what can you do about it? Here's your practical roadmap. Start with nervous system regulation. Before you do any manifestation work, spend time getting your nervous system into a regulated state. This might be through breathwork, EFT, somatic practices, or whatever works for you. Identify your survival patterns. Notice when you go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. What triggers these responses? These triggers are pointing you toward the wounds that need healing. Heal the root cause, not just the symptoms. Instead of trying to manifest your way out of a money anxiety, heal the childhood wound that created the anxiety in the first place. Instead of affirming your way into love, heal the attachment trauma that makes intimacy feel dangerous. Use your astrological blueprint as a healing map. Your natal chart gives some serious guidance on where your wounds live and how to heal them. Your Chiron placement, your 12th house, your challenging aspects. These aren't problems to be fixed. They're your spiritual curriculum. See them as teachers and markers on your journey. Practice integration, not bypassing. Don't try to love and light your way past trauma. Meet your wounded parts with compassion, heal them, integrate them, and then watch how naturally manifestation begins to flow. Remember, Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll feel like you're in full manifestation mode. Other days you'll be back in survival patterns. This is normal and part of the process. You are human after all. The goal isn't to never be triggered. It's to heal their root causes. So when they arise, you can return to coherence a lot faster. As we start closing out this episode, let me leave you with 3 key takeaways that you can start applying immediately. Number 1, your nervous system is your manifestation foundation. Stop trying to build your dream life on top of unhealed trauma. Just like you wouldn't build a house on quicksand, you can't manifest from survival mode. Invest in nervous system healing first, manifestation second. Number 2, resistance is information, not failure. If you feel resistance to your desires, don't push through it, listen to it. Your resistance is your nervous system telling you what needs to be healed. Use it as a roadmap to your root wounds and underlying limiting beliefs instead of evidence that manifestation doesn't work. What stories are you telling yourself? Number 3, integration creates magnetism. When you heal and integrate your wounded and shadow parts instead of rejecting them, you become magnetic to what you desire. Wholeness attracts wholeness. Healed attracts healed. Integration is a big part of the secret to effortless manifestation. Beautiful human, I want you to know that if your manifestation hasn't been working, it doesn't mean you are broken, unworthy, or not spiritual enough. It means you're human, and like most humans, you have some healing to do first. I want you to know that I see you. I acknowledge the effort and the energy you are putting into this. I know the universe wants to reward you, but you have to do the inner work first. As always, this is a judgment-free zone where we honor all healing journeys and timelines. Your trauma responses make perfect sense given your story. Slipping back into reactive mode when you are triggered does not mean you are failing. Your survival patterns served you once, but now they are ready to be transformed. Healing is your spiritual path. Your wounds are your spiritual curriculum. And when you heal the root cause instead of managing the symptoms, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Thank you for being here, for doing this deep work, and for choosing healing over bypassing. The world needs more people who are willing to go back to the beginning to create real, lasting transformation. I'll see you next time for more root cause conversations where we explore how your wounds become your wisdom and how your healing becomes your gift to the world. Until then, be gentle with yourself, trust your process, and remember, you're not broken, you are breaking cycles. Thank you, dear soul, for joining me on Back to the Beginning. If this episode resonated with you, please rate this podcast and share it with somebody else who needs the message. When you rate this podcast and take a screenshot, send it to us via DM on Instagram and we'll send you a free healing resource as our gift to you. Find all our programs and connect with me at www.expergotherapy.com, where transformation meets practical reality. Until next time, remember, you have everything within you to heal and connect authentically. See you next episode.